Am I the asshole for sending my coworker into anaphylactic shock? I'm at a loss here, guys. Realistically, I know I'm in the clear. Legally, I'm in the clear. But I'm being vilified by my coworkers, and I'm genuinely considering quitting my job because of this mess. So I work a pretty standard day job, and at night I help my friend at her restaurant, which serves an assortment of Thai cuisine. TBH, I'm insanely picky, but I fell in love with this peanut sauce the main chef makes, and he showed me how to make it, so about once a week I take it on either noodles or stir-fry to my day job for lunch. People know this and a handful have tried it. It smells nutty, it tastes nutty. It's white girl pad thai, basically. Lately my lunches have been disappearing, or I'll open my lunchbox to find half of my food missing. I've tried addressing it, but nothing has been changing, and I was pretty sure it was one of the new hires that was doing it, but had no proof. Until now. Thursday I took my noodles, and my entire Tupperware was missing, which hasn't happened before. I'm pissed, but what can I do? A coworker shared her pizza with me and that was that, until today. My boss confronted me and accused me of poisoning my noodles because his daughter, one of the new girls, borrowed my lunch and had to be hospitalized. Turns out she's severely allergic to nuts, ate some and boom. Anaphylaxis. She used an EPI pen, had to be hospitalized, and now her dad is trying to hold me accountable for her bills and condition, but I don't see it. Why should I pay? I don't mark my food as an allergen because I'm not allergic to it. She was just dumb enough to steal from me and eat something she can't have. But he's being hateful, and some of my older coworkers are icing me out because I warned him I'd report any harassment to HR if he tried anything funny. Brown nosers, I guess. My friend is aware and offered me a full-time job, but I just can't help but feel it's unfair. At the same time, I could have killed his daughter though. So, am I the asshole? Edit. Holy shitballs, this blew up. I did email the HR representative and let her know of the situation. She's been on vacation and gets back tomorrow, so I don't know if she's aware of what's been going on since last week. I should note that I work weekends most weeks, not quite a 8-5 MF job, but yeah. My coworkers mostly chilled out by the end of my shift, thankfully, after I explained to the nosiest, friendlier person that I always bring a peanut sauce dish. I guess the general assumption was that I somehow found out who has been stealing lunches and decided to poison them. To answer a common question, this was the first time my pad thai was stolen, and no, I'm not the only victim of the lunch thief. I usually take a late lunch, and I'm not the only one, so I'm guessing the lady who was stealing food decided what was left as a free-for-all. F her. My boss said it was an HR issue when I'd tried talking to him about lunches disappearing, and HR always said they'd look into it, or further into it, and nothing ever happened. We're 100% not allowed to eat at our desks, unless you have a medical reason for it, so that wasn't an option either. I'm assuming she's fine, but I don't know the severity of her allergy or how much she ate before she had her reaction. I'm not privy to her medical information, sorry guys. Suing. Sounds like a great revenge, but probably not worth the cost of a lawyer. My friend let me take tonight off to just bitch about everything, and I'm probably going to take her job offer. One commenter was right. Even if everything settles down, I don't want to deal with a potentially hostile or reactive workplace like this anymore. It's not a career with much room for upward mobility, and I didn't feel welcome in our group meeting today. And for the people calling this fake, okay? It's not, but even if it were, why are you getting mad about it? Karma doesn't give me anything, monetarily or status. I can't exactly give out a bunch of details unless I want to dox myself, and the post seems rushed because I wrote it out of frustration during my lunch. Short time plus word limit equals rushed. Sorry, it didn't meet your writing standards. Anyway, I'll keep reading comments and responding occasionally, but this is it for me unless I get something worth updating. Thanks for everyone's opinions. And the information about Caesar dressing and Worcestershire. Thanks Google. Having anchovies. That's crazy. Not the asshole. Go to HR immediately and make them aware of what is going on. You did absolutely nothing wrong and your boss's behavior is 100% inappropriate. Not the asshole. You didn't feed it to her. She stole it. At the same time, I could have killed his daughter. No, she could have killed herself. My wife had a heavy-duty seafood allergy. She wouldn't eat anything without knowing what was in it. Like, Caesar salad dressing has anchovies in it. Other sauces are made with seafood too. It can had in places you wouldn't expect. So, she would never take someone else's food, on principle first, because it's stealing, because it could be life-threatening. I would have thought that anyone with a severe food allergy would take the same precautions, but obviously not. Well, next time she think twice before borrowing someone else's food. Absolutely 100% not the asshole. My boss confronted me and accused me of poisoning my noodles because his daughter, one of the new girls, borrowed my lunch. Borrowed? And how exactly is she going to return this food that she borrowed after ingesting it? It's not borrowing when she was never planning on returning it or compensating you. I'm so sorry that your boss is terrible. She stole your food. She didn't ask, she just took it upon herself to take your lunch. She is the taw. Is she only doing this to you or is she taking everyone else's lunch as well? Not the asshole. Go to HR pronto. Don't threaten HR. Get this on file. See if you can switch departments or supervisors. Report both your boss and his daughter, the food thief. Stop reading. Go to HR and report this before your boss spins it to them as you doing this intentionally. Read the rest of the comments later. Not the asshole though. Not the asshole. She stole from you, and that's what happened. It's not your fault that the boss's daughter didn't check for peanuts. 100% her own fault. Report the boss to HR regardless, and warn him that you'll report him again if he takes revenge on any kind on you. Don't pay a cent towards her medical bills, bill her for the food she stole. AITA. Report her as well. Am I the asshole for not letting the kids go alone to see their dad in his home country? Apologies, English isn't my first language. I, 39F, divorced my ex-husband, 42M, 8 years ago. We have 2 kids together, 19M, 18F, that I had sole custody of after their dad became sick. He's been getting treated for his medical condition in his home country and recently I've been told his health is declining. My ex-Mill called me asking if I could let the kids come visit their dad for few days. She said she would handle tickets and expenses. I was a bit taken aback by her request. I said I was sorry I wasn't feeling comfortable letting the kids travel alone. She told me she could book me a ticket too, but I said I was too busy to literally travel to another country. She asked me to be more considerate and understand that her son misses his kids and wants to see them. I suggested that they video call him like they always do, but she told me that her son cried about wanting them there in person so he could hug them and smell them. She said his mental and emotional well-being depends on it because of concerns about his declining health. I talked to the kids and they said they wanted to go, but I didn't feel comfortable letting them travel on their own despite grandmother's assurance about taking care of the travel expenses. But the kids never been on a flight out of the country on their own, and so I think it's a valid reason to be concerned, especially since they never been to this place before. Ex-Mill started berated me after I gave her my final answer. She told me that I should be prepared to take full responsibility if the kids don't get to see their dad potentially one last time, but I figured from her tone that she keeps coming with excuses to guilt me into letting the kids go. The kids are upset over the fact that I'm seemingly treating them as small children, but that was not why I said no. ETA. The country in question is Spain. I'm worried more about the idea of the kids traveling alone than anything else. Their dad used to cone visit, but that stopped once he got very sick. You are the asshole. They're 18, not 5. Kids travel cross countries all the time at much younger ages. You're being horribly selfish to a dying man. You are the asshole. They are 19 and 18? They are technically adults. Why would you prevent them from seeing their dying father? And #X200B. Info. What country is this? Is there trafficking concerns? You are the asshole. Your kids are actually adults, so I hope they make their own decision on this. Your objections are not reasonable unless there is some very relevant information you have left out. YTA. 10,000% you are the asshole. Your kids are legal adults and don't actually need you permission to do anything. You're keeping them from their father because you are uncomfortable? Really? That's their dad, they want to see him and you're being selfish about it. You don't even have to pay for the trip. If their dad dies and they didn't get to have an actual goodbye because of you, then I hope they go low contact with you because you deserve that for depriving them of their other parent who obviously loves his kids and wants to see them in his last moments. Imagine if it was you in his place and he refused to let you see your kids on what could possibly be your deathbed. Like, get your head out if you're rear. 19M, 18F, that I had sole custody of. Wait, what? They're adults, don't they have custody of themselves? Not your choice anymore. And it seems like their grandmother is willing to help them out, which I hope includes helping them find a place to stay while they're visiting. Anyway, you are the asshole. And not your choice. I was going to say NTA until I read their ages. At 18 and 19 they are adults and may go if they wish without your consent. If you prevent them from going, you may well cause resentment that will last a lifetime. You are the asshole. Am I the asshole for labeling my drawers to end Mil's confusion? So, I have a really sweet DH's mom, and we get along most of the time. However, when she visits our home, I notice that she goes through my drawers in the bedroom looking for a charger or something. I find it a bit invasive and embarrassing, especially when she opens the wrong drawer that would have personal items in it like lingerie and then goes on to complain about how uncomfortable it is for her every single time. We've gone back and forth on this, and when I stated that she was wrong for even looking at personal stuff, she said she got confused and didn't know what drawer had the item she looked for. DH suggested I should just bring her whatever she needs instead of having go inside and look herself, but she never asks. So I decided to label my drawers. Meaning I put a sign on every drawer to eliminate Dear Mil's confusion. For example, I put, socks, sign on the sock drawer, then, lingerie, sign on the lingerie and underwear drawer, electronics, makeup drawer, etc. You get the idea? The next time Mill visited, she walked into the bedroom looking for something while I was in the kitchen cooking. Minutes later she came in with my husband asking about the signs I had on each drawer. I told her I just labeled each drawer to end her confusion and help her find what she's looking for quickly. She looked offended and said that she was neither a small child nor stupid to be treated like this. I said I was really trying to help and also try to prevent her from seeing stuff that upset her in the past. She got madder and kept arguing, then left to stay at my Bill's house. Brother-in-law called and berated both DH and I, and then DH lashed out saying I caused this mess and I needed to apologize. Not the asshole. She feigned confusion to excuse her snooping. You believed and accommodated her. She's mad you believed her lies and took her excuse away. Not the asshole, and you're kind of my hero. The signs essentially eliminated her excuse to snoop, and now she's salty about it. Hopefully your husband gets his head out of his ass and realizes that his mother is literally offended over you labeling your own drawers. If she didn't want to be able to snoop, why would that bother her? This is next level gaslighting. So, this woman has zero boundaries and rummages through your personal items on the regular. Then gets upset when she sees something that should actually be there. Then she overreacts, gets offended when you treat her like a child, even though she has behaved like one on numerous occasions in your house. She follows that up with this chaser. Let's talk smack about Op and get everyone pissed off at her. There is no way you are the asshole, but that doesn't really cover it adequately. There really is so much wrong with this. I think you might need a reality check. This family is sick. Not the asshole. Buy a strap-on with the biggest dildo you can find. Give her something to clutch her pearls over. Rolling on the floor laughing. She is nosy as fuck and her boys enable her. You were being logical and rational. Clearly she got busted and no longer had an excuse, so she's blaming you instead of admitting she's being inappropriate. Her entire response is overblown and she knows how to manipulate her sons. Say that when she visits she needs to stay at brother-in-law house from now on and see how long her behavior lasts there. Not the asshole. Your mill should not be rummaging around your drawers in your bedroom to begin with, no more than she would want you to be rooting around in her drawers at her home. If she needs something that is not in a public access area, then she needs to ask for assistance and not go snooping through your personal stuff. Am I the asshole for not taking the blame for my cousin that got her arrested? I 29, F. Got a call from my cousin 36, F. to come pick her up and to drop her off at her boyfriend's house. Unknown to me, she had that illegal substance on her person. We got to her boyfriend's house and it's getting raided by police. We immediately were told to pull over to the side and me freaking out did. My cousin quickly pulled the illegal substance out of her bra and said, "Here, take it." I was panicking and saying no. She said, "Take it. They know I'm with him, if you don't, I'm going to be going back to jail." I freaked out and jumped out of my car. Doing that obviously caused suspicion and the cops approached us and I blurted out that she had illegal substances on her and trying to make me hide it. My cousin immediately got arrested and I was so freaked out I was crying. I didn't have to go to court because she confessed and that cleared me. But it's what's happened afterwards. I'm being called a coward and a snitch from my family and I should have covered for her, because now there's no chance she will ever be able to get her children back from the system, and if I got caught with the stuff it would have been my first offense and I wouldn't have had a harsh punishment as my cousin. It's making me feel guilty. Edit. Thank you all so much for your support, I appreciate it. It's made me take a real hard look at my family and realized that I always knew that they were toxic. But if I'm honest with myself and you all, I guess I was in denial about their toxicity. You guys' comments and insights made me accept the truth. Last night I received threatening calls from them about my loyalty to my family. It just hung up and realized enough is enough. I'm now looking for another home and job in another part of the country, far away from them, and live my life away from their toxicity and go and see. Thanks once again to everyone for their support and positively. People are calling you a snitch for complying with the law? Pretty much your whole family is backing your cousin? Huge, not the asshole. Never give your cousin a ride in your car again. Never give anyone else who might put you in the same situation in your car. Sounds like it's time to start building your own informal family, and leaving this toxic collection of humanity behind. Do it before they drag you down into their vortex. Not the asshole. She obviously didn't care at all about her kids when she was carrying the drugs, so why should it be on you? The kids are better off in the system than with a mother who thinks so little of them. Not the asshole. You know what is actually cowardly? Knowingly and willingly committing a crime and then expecting an innocent person to take the fall for you. Why should you have gone to jail, risked your job, and who knows what other consequences, for someone who clearly doesn't give a shit about you, or else it never would have been a question at all? Not the asshole. If your cousin was so concerned about staying out of jail and getting her kids back, she shouldn't have had that substance in the first place. Not the asshole. Fuck that. Any family member who criticizes you for not taking the fall for this is an enabling asshole. Sounds to me like your cousin doesn't deserve to get her kids back anyway. Not the asshole. It would have been your first offense. First offense means you would now have a record that would follow you for the rest of your life. No jobs, no school, no future with a drug record. If you have a family that thinks it's okay for you to take the blame for someone else's crime, it's time to stay away from that family. It isn't worth it.